Today, we are going to be talking to Jennifer, who is going to be sharing with us how she manages life as a content creator living with a chronic illness and the systems that she's put in place to help her stay consistent on YouTube through the ups and the downs, and how she's managed to get multiple channels monetized, which is totally incredible. So maybe you're also living with a chronic illness, or you're simply looking for strategies to help you stay consistent on YouTube and manage your time well. And whatever the case may be, we all have things that get in the way. So I'm sure you're going to find today's chat really helpful, and there'll be some ideas that you might steal for your own content creation strategy moving forward. I know I'm certainly going to be stealing some of these ideas. So please welcome to the stage the creator of the Creator Classroom and Project Help Desk, and my dear friend Jennifer. Thank you so much for being here with me today, Jennifer. So awesome to have you here, as always. Amazing.
Applause for the deaf community.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's so nice to have you here as well, Marianne, in the chat watching from here. And also Elle, naturally, amazing to have you here. And we've got my darling mother watching from her bed at my granddad's house in Murray Bridge, South Australia. That's beautiful. She's staying up there. My poor dad has the dreaded illness at the moment. So she's staying with my granddad.
The 5-letter illness.
The you know what. Yeah. And
it's not a 4-letter word.
It's not. But yeah. Love you, Dad. Feel better soon. And we have Nina watching. How bloody beautiful. So, Jennifer, to kick us off, I'm sure we're going to have some people watching today who this is their first time encountering you. So I know to me, it seems crazy that anyone would not know who you are. But I'd love it if you could just briefly fill us in on what your channels are, and yeah, what they're all about. And I'm going to pop them up on the screen here while you have a little chat about them.
All right. This is what I call my baby. This is the Creator Classroom. I love creating for this channel. And as the banner says, the channel is all about teaching people how to use Canva for YouTube. And I can't believe I've created 296 videos.
Yeah, that's just amazing.
What's not been like unlisted, because I've got a lot that are unlisted that are no longer relevant because, well, Canva's changed so much. But I do videos, I do long form videos. I'm trying to do short form videos. They just don't do so well. And then I do live streams too. So I try to do a little bit of it all. That way, no matter who my audience is, which form of content they prefer, there should be something for them there. So, but yeah, it's just, I love it. And I started this channel because someone wanted to know how I created. My words are going to fail me here. They wanted to know how I created my text overlays for my other channel. And instead of explaining it through written word, I created a video because why not?
And so your other channel, and actually, folks, let us know in the chat if you are here from the Creator Classroom. And if you're part of that community over there as well. It's such an amazing way to learn about Canva, how to use Canva. Jennifer's a bloody legend. And so tell us about the Project Help Desk.
So the Project Help Desk, actually, the idea for it was my husband said, hey, we should start a channel. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be on camera. I do not feel comfortable in front of the camera. I do not feel, no. And then he goes, I think we should do it. And he keeps pestering on it and he keeps pestering on it. And then at one point I said, so what I hear you saying is we're going to start this channel whether I like it or not. And he was like, yeah. And he goes, "Great channel name. Glad you thought of it." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" So then the first iteration of the project help desk was actually called Like It or Not because we were
That's
going to have
so
a
great.
channel whether people liked it or not.
And whether you liked it or not, it sounds
Right.
like.
And so at first I didn't buy in, but at some point I'm like, "Oh, you know what? I can make these better if I use Canva." And like I hadn't seen any tutorials on it at all. I figured it all out on my own about how to put in the text, how to do this, how to do that, how to work the thumbnails. Like I didn't watch tutorials on it. I just figured it out. And so
Mm.
they're not the best thumbnails. It's a hodgepodge channel. It's everything that people say that a channel shouldn't be. But that channel has earned us money.
Amazing.
So I call it a win. We earned $5, I think, yesterday, $8 a day before. I mean, so for a channel that shouldn't be making us money, it's making us money.
So tell us why it shouldn't be making you money.
Because the experts say don't create a channel that's just a hodgepodge channel. Like, don't just create random videos to create random videos. And so these videos here are these the popular ones.
Yeah,
Scroll up.
I started from
If
the
you, if you
yeah,
scroll
you've got
up,
this one here.
look at that one. It's got
Mr. Heat,
100K.
100,000 views, it's amazing. It's so good, and it keeps getting views, right?
Well, so that one, that particular video is a video that's very seasonal. So here in the
Yeah.
US, it will only see views in the wintertime. It's not going to see
Mm.
views in the summer.
Yeah,
Um,
amazing.
uh, so we get a lot of these fridge questions because we did a video of us getting a new fridge. We needed a new fridge. We got a new fridge, and people had questions about that fridge. So we answered the questions, and we did a video about will the cheaper filter work because there's different varieties of water filters, and the ones that they recommend, it costs like 50 or 60 bucks for one water filter that's supposed to last you 3 to 6 months. And we
Mm.
found a pack of 2 for like $32. We're like, "Will it
Yeah.
fit? Is it the same?" So we ordered it not thinking that it actually would fit, but it does. And we have earned from that video for the Amazon affiliates, we have earned about $125 from
That's
purchasing
amazing.
a $31 filter.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because we were talking last week, and we often talk on this channel about how like not all channels are created equal, and like there's not one way to do YouTube. And so you obviously have your one channel that is super niche specific, your Canva channel, and then you have another channel that's just whatever you want to do. And it's like they're both
They're both
making
valid.
money, and they're both
And
are valid, and they both have an audience. And it's just I think it's so awesome to see on this show chatting with people from all different kind of walks of life with all different types of channel that there's no one way to do YouTube.
And
Yeah, it's awesome.
the interesting thing is on the Creator Classroom, I had the subscribers. It was the watch hours that were the trouble. And so it just took what seemed like forever to get those 4,000 watch hours. Um,
Mm.
so I started live streaming, hoping that would help, and it did.
Yeah, that's
I
amazing. We'll chat about
reached
that.
that. And then the other one, it was the subscribers that was a problem. Like,
Yeah.
we had plenty of watch hours. It was because it's
Mm.
a hodgepodge channel.
Yeah, and I guess it's like when you're creating videos about a really specific thing, like the filters on a fridge, people are coming there because they want the answer to that question, not necessarily because they want like a whole thing. So it's really interesting how different that can be. So when you started, what made you pursue creating videos when, as you've said, your body isn't always kind to you with your chronic illness?
My husband. No,
Yes.
um, I mean,
Who made you pursue creating
that was
videos? Your
that
husband?
was the start of it, right? Like, but
Yeah.
then I started realizing that I do have a voice. Like, and I'm not even talking about the other channel, right? Like, I'm talking about the creator classroom because to me that's my baby, and I've got a voice and I can teach people in a way that maybe other creators can't, because of my personal background. I used to be a preschool teacher and I used to teach children how to read. And when you come from that background, I think that it makes teaching a skill on YouTube a little bit easier because
Mm.
like, I'm thinking, well, how would I explain this to a 4-year-old? Right?
Yeah.
Not because really, if you're a beginner at something, it really is sort of like being
Yeah,
a 4-year-old.
totally.
I mean, you can't, I mean, it's just like I try to think of, okay, making thumbnails. And let's compare making thumbnails to walking. You can't walk unless you learn to stand. You got to
Mm,
stand first, and then you can learn to take steps, and then you can learn to walk, and then you can learn to run. Well, making
mm,
thumbnails, you got to learn what size the thumbnail needs to be. You got to learn layers. And I feel like some of those things, for example, you do banners, I come at it in a way that other people don't, like what the
mm,
sizing is and how the templates in Canva aren't aren't perfect, because
mm.
you use the templates as they are, it's going to get cut off on mobile. It's going to get cut off on desktop because you're not going to
Yeah,
see everything. And so I, I don't know. There's just something
totally.
about it.
You make it really, really accessible. I think that makes so much sense that you have a background as a, early childhood educator, and that influence is so clear in your videos. It's so your instructions are just so easy to follow. So, yeah, if anyone's watching and you wanna learn about how to use Canva, or you have a specific question about Canva, go onto the Creator Classroom and search for whatever you're looking for, and there is gonna be a video there. It's amazing. Or if there's not,
We've got a
Jennifer
lot of
takes
people saying
requests.
hello in the chat.
We've got a lot of people saying hello in the chat. Who we got here? Hey, Mary, it's so wonderful to have you here, and Marcus, awesome to have you here. Yeah, amazing.
You
How
were on
wonderful. I
Marcus's
love it.
channel, right? Were you on
Marcus has a
Marcus?
channel. I was on Marcus's channel a couple of months ago. It's Marcus does a similar thing to what we're doing here, chatting with content creators about how they what they do. So yeah, it's awesome. Go and check it out for sure. Yeah. So you when you first start, let me get this straight. So you're an early childhood educator teaching
Mhm.
kids how to read, and is that something you're no longer able to do?
I had to stop doing that. Please do not cry. I'm the kind of person that I like to give like 300%. And if I can't give 300%, then I feel like I failed. And so it just, while I was working in early childhood, I've had I had 2 different rounds where I had to have a PIC line for my health, and the second one I had, it was it was a harsher treatment for me. And so it was just really hard for me to keep my energy levels up when I was around the kids, when I was around the parents, when I was around, and at that time I was working part time, even. And it was even difficult
Mm,
for me to like do that for 3 or 4 hours, and then I was driving about an hour from my house to my job. So
Oh,
then
wow.
that's just it got to be too
Mm,
much. So at some point, I dropped down to substitute where I would just come in when they needed me and I would just sub into a class wherever they needed me. And then at some point, I just no longer,
mm,
like it
yeah.
became impossible. And so they understood. In fact, I resigned and she says, "We don't want to lose you. How can we keep you? Maybe this is just a bad spell. Can you be a
Mm,
substitute? Come in like every once in a while and see how that
yeah.
goes. Maybe once you get through this treatment, maybe it will get better." And then it just still like my energy level never rebounded. And I'm like, if
Mm,
I can't give the kids all of me or even half of me, then I'm doing a disservice for them. Hire someone that can help them.
mm.
And so I
Oh,
left that.
that's that's really, really brutal and challenging, and that yeah, that sucks. That just sucks.
And
Like,
but one of the
mm,
kids I taught to read, she's going to Duke University. She's double majoring. I mean, like,
wow,
and then
how
another one,
incredible.
like all these kids that I've taught how to read are now in college.
That's so
And like,
amazing. I've got goosebumps. That's so incredible. And the other thing is that we in the YouTube community are so, so, so fortunate and lucky to have you, you know? That's
you gonna
a
make
bit
me
of a silver
blush.
lining. Pardon?
You gonna make me blush.
But it's so, like, it sucks so much that that is what has happened because I know that you loved doing that so much. But yeah, this is one of the silver linings is that we have you.
And I think if
Yeah.
YouTube had really been a thing, like back when I left, I probably would have created a channel, something like how to help your child how to read. But since I'm
Mm,
so far removed from that, that is not something that I feel comfortable doing now.
mm.
But if this had been 10 years ago, that is definitely what my channel
Yeah,
would have been
yeah.
helping parents help their children, one, know
Mm.
how to read and know when they're ready to read. But I'm just so far removed from that life. Like it feels like a lifetime ago that it just would not that wouldn't be a good idea for me.
Yeah, yeah. So it's, yeah. So wonderful that you have found YouTube as a way to teach, and you found something that you're so, like, very, very passionate about. Anyone who follows the Creator Classroom knows there is a very deep love for Canva, and it's so, so awesome. So, I know you have days that are good, you have days that are not so good. What does it look like for you when you're struggling?
If I am struggling, I am well, I would still be in my pajamas if I hadn't recorded. I
I'm
recorded
in
this
my pajamas.
I recorded this morning. If I hadn't recorded this morning, I would be in my pajamas and I would be in this really ratty chair that belonged to my parents that we purchased when I was in the 7th grade. I would be lounged up in there with the heating pad on my back, um, all the lights off in the house. I would just be like, try to be as still as possible to try to like reduce whatever's wrong, right? Like it
Mm.
might be a severe headache, it could be fatigue, it could be, well, sometimes I have the sweats. So I've not exactly said what's wrong with me. And that's
And you
because
don't have to.
it's
No.
it's
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah.
So I'm going to simplify it. When I was the summer before college, I was bit by a tick, and when you're bitten by a tick, ticks can carry illnesses, but I
Mm.
didn't know that then. This was in 1995, and about a week later, my life completely changed. I just But we nobody even asked me, "Have you been bitten by a tick?" And I didn't think to
Mm.
bring it up. So 12 years later, I finally got answers. And when you go
Wow.
12 years with
Yeah.
infections like ravaging your body, it's just very difficult to recover from that. So
Mm.
I deal with the repercussions from not having been diagnosed that long. And then I
Yeah.
also have occasionally, because of one of the tick-borne illnesses, I will get anemia real bad to where I need iron infusions. And then there's
Mm.
just a bunch of different things that go on that are all related to that tick bite in
Ticks are
1995.
such absolute rats, aren't they? They're
Yep.
just such little idiots.
So, and what I love about YouTube
Yeah.
and the channel that I have is I don't have to think about that aspect of my life. There's something that I can
Mm.
do that's just not, I don't have to, I don't have to take medicine on camera. I don't have to
Mm.
do anything on camera except for teach and
Mm.
occasionally cough because I do. One of my things is I cough a lot, which was really terrible during the 5-letter word
Yeah,
because people
yeah.
hear you coughing and they think,
Yeah.
but it's not that. I've always
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a cough. And so
Mm.
sometimes it's worse than others. And I'm drinking water a lot because it
Yeah,
helps
keep the
me
water there.
like keep my throat hydrated so that I don't cough as much. So at some point during this, I'll probably have to get more because I'm already out.
Yeah, yeah, you do what you gotta do. And I know it can be like, I know that it's not an easy thing to talk about, so I'm really grateful that you suggested, like, having this conversation about staying consistent on YouTube no matter what, and because there's a lot of people that live with stuff that most of us would have absolutely no idea is going on, and a lot of people have a hard time staying people that don't have a chronic illness have a hard time staying consistent on YouTube. So I'm really looking forward to chatting about some of your strategies and the things that you do to help you stay consistent. Um, it's yeah, I think it's gonna be helpful for everyone. And yeah, as Elle says, ticks are gross. Very sorry that happened. It's a I was recently in Germany where there's like a lot of ticks, and it's so interesting because here in Australia we have like brown snakes and red belly black snakes and redback spiders and whitetail spiders and all this disgusting stuff that's like super poisonous, right? But they're very visible, and I had no idea until I had one crawling on my back how
They're
tiny a
tiny.
tick is.
Yeah.
Like these insidious little they're the
And
opposite
they
of a bloody
love
legend.
they love me, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, who doesn't?
I was,
Can I get an amen in the crowd? Who doesn't love you, Jennifer?
um, I one week, I was inside, like, 7 days. I walked outside, legit, to the mailbox, which is not far, and it's all on either concrete and rocks, like, no grass. Come back in, an hour later, I've got a tickle on my belly. One's
Ugh.
crawling. One had found me somehow and was crawling. Thankfully, I felt the tickle before it attached.
Mm.
But
Ugh, these awful little creatures. Awful. Yeah, we that's one thing that we don't have here in Australia. Is I mean there are some ticks, but they fortunately not very many of them carry any kind of disease. Anyway, so what does a typical day in the life look like for you as a content creator, or is there even such a thing as a typical day for you, Jennifer?
there isn't. Um, and I do it that way on purpose because
Mhm.
I cannot. I can't plan. I mean, I can plan. I plan the mess out of it because I have to. But I can't do the same thing every day because my body is different every single day.
Yeah.
But I have learned when my body's better, right? Like,
Mm.
so my body is better in the morning than it is in the afternoon or evening. I
Yeah.
am, I know it. And so typically I'll get up and I'll come and I'll get on my computer. And the first thing I check, I check the monetization tab because
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to know how much I got the day before, and then I want to know what happened on Amazon. So I'll check my earnings there, and I just want to see what sold, what shipped, and all of that stuff. It just like starts my day on a positive note. Whether
Yeah.
there's been something done or not, it just starts my day off. And then I look at a tool. I look at my tool to see what my plan is. And the tool I use is Trello because I'm able to
Awesome.
keep checklists and things. And I think let me see if I can. Oh, okay. I'm gonna share my screen. But I gotta move. I gotta move things so I can find things.
Trello. Yes. We
Okay,
had a chat about Trello. When
I've
was
got it.
that?
I've got it down there.
Ah, here we go. Awesome. I'll pop it in.
See, that's the thing about using having someone here that also streams. I know exactly what to do for you. So, like Trello is a free tool. There is a paid version, but I've used the free version for the longest time. And you can create these boards on there. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. And so, like, I've got a year plan, I've got brainstorm ideas, I've got the monthly plan. This is not related to YouTube at all. And then sometimes, if I feel like it, I'll do planning for the project help desk. But like typically, I'm looking at the year plan, and as you see, I started this particular one the way that I'm doing it now in February. So I've been doing it this way February, March, April, May, 4 months now. And so if I've been doing something for 4 months in a row, you know I like that system for me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so like
Wow.
I'll get into what I call my to-dos. And so, like, this is my to-do list.
I'm just gonna get rid of myself from being on screen so we can see more of your screen, but I'll do it so that we can still hear me. So I'm
Ooh,
gonna do
I'm
that.
coming
There's
in.
you. There's you, big. And oh no, can I do it so I'm still talking?
I
But
don't can
hang on,
you
let's
can you move it so that
I'll do this, I'll do that, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do this.
yeah,
No.
just do that. No, that was
Ah,
fine. The one
all
over there
right.
on the side is fine.
There's gotta be a way of getting rid of me.
No,
Why
it's
isn't
fine.
Ugh,
You need to
anyway.
be there. So
Yeah, look.
basically, what I do is I create a to do list, maybe for the week. Now, I've got the 15th to the 19th here, but I know that it's pretty much going to be like 15. This is going to be like a 2 week plan, right? But I've just
Mm.
got it for this week. And then I will switch it from the 19th. I'll switch it 22nd to the 26th later. But basically, I do a lot of checklists and I do it in Trello and I see what I want. So, like, I want all the long form videos that I'm creating for the Creator Classroom done and scheduled by May 31st. That's a big task because I've not done any videos for June yet. And it's the 15th. So in 2 weeks, I want to create 8 videos. And that's a lot for anybody, much less for
That is a
me.
lot.
And that doesn't even include short form videos or live streams. That's just the long form content. And so what I do is I create checklists and I live by these. I live and die by these checklists. If I lost these checklists, I wouldn't know what to do. And so, like this morning, I was like, okay, I want to film 2 of the 8. What can I film? So I filmed one on magic presentation, which actually, coincidentally enough, the presentation that I've got down here at the bottom with the slides, I used magic presentation in Canva to create that. Now, I did most of it, but it set it up for me. And then I started to film magic design, but after 5 minutes, things weren't going well. So I scratched it and I'll go back to it later because things were not working and I pivoted and I
Mhm.
filmed this one, which is where to find free images for YouTube. And so I filmed that. And that
Mm.
was my
So
plan.
did you change what you're filming based on, like, if something's
Um,
just not working, if something's not happening, or if it's
so
proves itself to be too hard
for
that
this
day, or
for this particular one for magic design, I had not really practiced it a lot. And so I went in to do it and it wasn't doing exactly what it should. And I don't know whether that was an issue on Canva's end or whether it was just a me being an idiot. And
I'm sure it
so
wasn't that.
I thought instead of me continuing to do the same thing over and over and over again and wasting my time and my energy and my brain cells, move on to the next thing.
Mm.
Right. So I'm like, let me just put this on the back burner and I'll move on to the next thing on my list. What is it? And so 5 minutes into this one, I'm like, this one isn't working. My words aren't coming out right. I'm having trouble. So let me just put that on the back burner and then go on to the next one and see how that goes. Now, if I'd started that one and it had also not gone well, then guess what I would have done? I would have stopped filming for today. I would have done zero filming because that would have told me, oh, it's not Canva, it's me. Like my brain is having trouble, my mouth is having trouble. I'm having trouble communicating the way I want to communicate. So, what am I feeling good? Let's say that free images for YouTube wasn't working for me. I'm not feeling well. What can I do? I'm going to go down here to videos to base edit. I would edit the
Mm.
magic presentation. Like I would do something in that time slot. Now, if I started editing and my brain still wasn't working, then I'd be like, okay, I need to listen to my body. Obviously, today's not a good day. I'm going to rest the rest of the day and we'll pick it up tomorrow and try then. And so, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's such good
but yeah,
advice.
so like
Like,
I've
so
got
separating the tasks to what can I achieve when I'm feeling good, and what can I achieve when I'm feeling not as good, or do I just need to totally rest?
right. So videos
That's
to
great.
film, videos to base edit, videos to zoom edit, videos to final edit, right? Like I've got several processes and then videos to schedule and finalize. And then
Wow.
I try to put what it is, right? Like so magic presentation took way longer to film than I wanted. It took 60 minutes to film with only 35 minutes counting, but hopefully I'll get something out of it for the and it's just something to let me know, okay, I had trouble. That way, when I go to edit it, I can look back at this one checklist and be like, okay, I remember I was having trouble with my words, or I was having trouble. I tried to do a video on magic design. It did not go well. Nothing seemed to be working with it. So I decided after 5 minutes not to continue with that project.
Mm.
And so then I immediately started filming the next one. And it took me 21 minutes to film that.
Yeah.
And that was it. And so then I took a break. I took a 2-hour break. I rested.
Mm.
I got in my chair, I laid down, I watched a little TV, and then I came over and I set my timer because timers are huge. I don't need to be stuck in this chair for a long period of time doing one task. I need to make sure that I only spend a short amount of time on it. So 30 minutes, that's good. So I set it for 30 minutes. I did as much as I could in that 30 minutes and then I rested.
Mm.
And then I came back and I finished the base edit, and that took me 19 minutes. So,
Yeah.
it just, and then guess what? I went and rested again. But after like an hour, I was like, you know what? I feel pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and base edit the next one. I've not finished that base edit yet, but it should take me like 10 minutes tomorrow to finish. And then
Amazing.
tomorrow, what am I going to do? I'm going to try to do the same thing I did today. I'm going to try to film 2 videos. I'm going to try to base edit 2 videos. That way they're ready for like a bigger edit. But yeah, it just
Mm.
yeah.
There's so much it looks like there's so much planning that goes into it.
Yeah.
There's so much, and that's it's so good because I sometimes have
And
days where I'm just,
then
like, sitting in front of the computer trying to edit or something, and I'm, like,
and people
getting
are getting an idea
absolutely
of what they're gonna get in June because it's right
yeah,
here.
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, Amy's here from Motif Music Studios. Thank you so much for being here, watching
Hi,
from
Amy.
Vancouver Island, and says that's amazing awareness and yes to preserving energy. Yeah, 100%. Should we have a look at your I said to Jennifer, don't feel like you have to prepare anything today. And she was like, oh, I've actually already prepared a PDF slideshow. So I feel like we should definitely look at that because it's and chat through it because it's so amazing to hear about your processes, as Amy has just said as well. Like, because yeah, like without I would imagine without that planning and going, "Okay, I can't do this. Is there something else on my list that I can do?" Like, would
Yeah,
much get done if you didn't have that
no.
list? Or would
Like,
there
if
be a
I
lot
didn't have
more
that list this
TV?
morning, if I didn't have the list this morning, if I hadn't planned the 8 videos that I wanna do in June, like, the base idea of them, then I would have been like, "Okay, I guess I'm not doing anything today," and nothing would have gotten done. And then
Yeah.
tomorrow, if I had a day where it was like that, then guess what? Nothing would get done. And so
Mm.
it just yeah, let's look
Yeah.
at the spreadsheet
Yeah,
'cause
I
I
love
mean
this
the
idea
spreadsheet,
of
the slideshow.
separating yeah, I love the idea of separating the tasks, and I meant to look up who talks about, like, when you're in your green zone and when you're in your red zone and when you're in your amber zone. Does anyone know about this? There's tasks that anyone can, like, I know that for me, let's say I'm working through my VRA modules or something,
Can you
that's
hide me
something
for a
that I
second so I can get some water?
yeah,
You
absolutely.
can talk. I just
I'll
need
talk
to
about this red, amber, and green thing while you get some water. Hydration, folks, one of the most important things. So yeah, there's this idea of I meant to look up where this even came from, but yeah, there are different tasks that we are capable of doing at different times throughout the day, and having an awareness of when you're personally capable of doing certain things and when you're not. So yeah, like I might do some editing first thing in the morning because that for me is when I like to do my live streams first thing in the morning because that's for me when my brain is working probably the best. But then when my brain starts slowing down a little bit, I am still totally capable of studying, working through my VRA modules, like or planning and doing kind of responding to comments and doing all that sort of stuff. So I feel like it's a similar thing. Anyway, I'll work out that red, green, amber zone thing and do a video about that at some point. But Jennifer's Spreadsheet, being productive when you live with a chronic condition. What a beautiful spreadsheet.
And shout out to Canva's magic presentation, which I filmed a video on this morning for
Oh,
helping
awesome.
me.
When's that coming out?
It should be, I'm thinking it will probably be the first video I do in June.
Beautiful. I will add that to the description of this video in June.
Yeah, it should be. But yeah, um, so being productive when you live with a chronic illness. Almost said, did I spell chronic wrong? That's one reason why I knew when I was really sick is I started spelling words wrong. And I've always been the best speller. And like
Mm,
that was just something that I never had trouble with. And also
mm.
I didn't have trouble pronouncing a lot of words. And now I have trouble pronouncing a lot of words. And so, but yeah, so I just love this so much. Now, yes, I tweaked this a lot from what the AI did for me, but it gave me the idea of how I wanted to set it up, which made like I created this presentation in like 10 minutes.
Amazing.
And when you're chronically ill, anything that you can do to use that's going to make your life easier and faster, like Chat GPT or Canva's
Mm.
Magic Write or Canva's Magic Rewrite. Do you know about that? Do you know
No,
about Canva Summarize?
no.
You
Wow.
want me to
Sounds like there's
show
a
you,
lot to
don't
go and
you?
catch up on your channel.
Well, I've not talked about Canva Summarize or Canva Rewrite.
All right, something to look forward
Maybe if
to.
there's time at the end of this, we can pop into Canva and I'll show you real quick so you can go, wow. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
So this is my like one of my biggest tips is to start at the end and plan. So for me, I looked at June and went, okay, how many videos do I need? So most people, I'm assuming, do one video a week. So if it's a 4 week month and someone's video, if there's a 4 Monday month and someone puts their videos out on Mondays, then they know that they need to create 4 videos. And so if that was me, I would be like, okay, what are the 4 videos that I want to create? And what's that going to look like? Can I make them related to each other? Will they be good in a playlist? Can I, like all these things that are running through my head that I don't necessarily write down. It's just something running through my head. Can I relate it to something from the past? Can I do a video from something in the past with a new update? What are people asking questions about? And so I think about all those things and then I decide on about 10 different ideas. Or, like for me with the 8 videos, I came up with 10 ideas. And then
Mm,
I narrowed it down to 8, but I've got 2 in the back of my head just in case those 8 don't work. So if I were doing 4 videos in a month, I would go ahead and choose like 6 ideas. That way I've got something in the back of my mind if one of those video ideas doesn't work. So I always start at the end and plan. I look the month ahead. I figure out how many videos I want to make, and then I write down the video ideas. Sometimes I'll even go ahead and write the title, possibility, and do the thumbnail. It just depends.
mm,
And then 2 is plan the schedule with breaks. So this is a big one for me. I found that I accomplish more if I have like a week or 2 where I'm really pushing myself and then have like a week or 2 where I don't have to do much at all, then
right.
if I stagger it out more, and let's say that I've got 8 videos I want to do, instead of doing 2 a week, like filming and editing and doing all that 2 a week, if I do more like 4 a week for 2 weeks, and then I have 2 weeks off, then I'm better off than if I'm just constantly going. And so
Mm.
for me, that's what I found works the most. So I try to plan it out. So I've got 2 videos I want to film. I filmed today. I've got 2 videos I want to film tomorrow. If for some reason
Wow.
on Wednesday I'm feeling fabulous, like am really feeling great, I might try to film 2 more. But I've already scheduled it so that I will film those 2 the next week.
Mm.
2 weeks ago, I filmed 6 tutorials and edited them in or most of them
Wow.
in like 4 days
That's
because
amazing.
I had a really great week.
Yeah.
And
That's
so why am
great.
I not gonna take advantage of that? And then the last week, I did more resting. I did
Yeah.
scheduling, which is not a heavy task. I did the I added the titles and the thumbnails and all the back end stuff. I was still doing stuff, but I wasn't doing the heavy stuff that requires me to sit here for a lengthy period of time. And then I
Mm.
also do a lot of timers. So I always have my phone on me. I'll set a timer. It depends on what the task is, but I try to make it no longer than 30 minutes. That way, I get up and either move around or rest. Because
Yeah.
when you sit here, or at least when I sit here for a while, my back starts to hurt. Um, I start to have to, like, my neck starts to hurt, like things start to hurt because I've sat here. So I try to get up, walk around a little bit, rest a little bit, and then when I'm ready, come back. And
Mm.
and the next
So
time it
you
might only be 15 minutes that I sit here. And so
yeah.
it's constant.
So it's not like 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, 25 minutes on. It's like listening to your body
Yes.
and doing what you need to do. That is, yeah, as Amy said earlier, it's just such good awareness. Um, yeah, it's good.
And so I try to get everything that I need to do before noon. Like if I can get everything done before noon, or at least the majority of things that are on my list that I would like to do done before noon, then I know typically I can do a little something in the afternoon. But if I don't, it's not a big deal. I've got as much stuff accomplished as possible. And so
Mm.
when I did my base edit for that second video, I finished it at 11:55. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to be live with Claire. So I'm not going to do any more editing this afternoon. What I'm going to do is make sure my slideshow's on point. I'm going to make sure I've got everything that I need to do there, but I'm only going to take like 10 minutes to do it. And so that's what I did.
Mm.
And yeah. And so, but that's just like I've got to plan the schedule. And I do it on a sort of a weekly and daily basis. It's like a month, like I've got a month plan, I've got a week plan, and then I've got a sort of a like I think it's type A, probably a little ADHD. Like my brain is constantly going, you know, sometimes I feel like Elise and Elise Myers is in my head.
Yeah. Oh gosh, she's brilliant. Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
if it's
and
not on a
then
list for me, it just is not a thing that will ever happen. If it's not in the schedule or it's not on a list, it's just like I will doom scroll for the entire day.
so then batch strategy with everything. So I batch
Yes.
film, right? Like I didn't sit there and film one, edit one, film one, edit one. I filmed two
Mm,
because with StreamYard, when I'm doing the recording, by the way, Claire has a link to StreamYard if you want to try it
I
free.
do. There is a link to StreamYard if you'd like to try the free version. There's links to all sorts of exciting things in the description of this video, including Jennifer's channels.
And ah, fudge. See, I said StreamYard. And so you know how it will process. It takes a while for it to process before you can download it. So
Mm,
instead of waiting for it to process and then editing, if my body feels like it, I will go ahead and film that second video, especially if the first video didn't take a long time to film. And so
mm,
I'm not going to waste time sitting here waiting for things to process when I can film video two. And so
mm,
when video two is done film, then I take myself a nice long break, let everything process, and then I batch download everything. I go into StreamYard, I get the two videos I need, I batch download them all at the same time. And so then I've got four, I typically will have four videos in my downloads folder, one of me, one of the screen for video one of me, one of the screen for video two. And then, of course, I batch base edit video one, take a break, batch edit, base edit video two, take a break. And then I actually don't, I'm going to schedule all eight. When I get all eight done, I won't schedule two at a time. I will schedule eight
wow.
because
You're amazing.
I just, I'm going to batch everything because my brain is in the mode to do that. So if my
Yeah.
brain is in the mode to cut, well, I'm not going to cut, add stuff in, add overlays, add audio. I'm going to cut. And then the next stage, I'm going to zoom or move me or zoom and move the screenshot. And I'm just going to do a whole bunch of that. And
It's
then,
brilliant.
and then the next step, I'm going to add a whole bunch of overlays. And then Canva has another new feature, which is you can download MP4s in a zip file, but separately if you're a
Brilliant.
Canva Pro user. So now I can like put in 8 or 9, 10 videos and download all 8 videos at one time and then put in my videos. And so it's that's just faster for me. It's the way my brain works. And if I'm in that mindset, then I can do it faster than if I sit there and try to do each individual thing
Oh,
as I'm moving
it
along.
makes so much sense, and the batch stuff makes so much sense, and I've never done it. Like, it's something, like oh, have we got an echo, or is that just
Oh,
my
we need to
headphones? I don't
share. We
know.
need to share Amy's. I don't hear an echo.
Hmm. We need to share a couple of these comments, but,
Yeah, I'm loving what Amy said about Elise.
yeah, this is so inspiring. I love how your brain works. Elise Myers is my favorite YouTuber right now to just scroll if I need a boost of fun and relatability. Yeah, she's totally amazing. Go check out Elise if you don't know her stuff. And
If you
Mummy Guide
don't,
is here as well, saying good morning from this side of the world. Waking up to this, I was just watching the Creator Classroom last night. Great to see you both together. Awesome. So nice to
I'm
have you
so
here.
glad that you watched me, and I'm glad you're here. And like, here's the thing about Elise. This is my favorite saying from her. She says, like, I know that I'm too much for some, like, this is me speaking, not Elise. I know that I'm a lot for a lot of people. And for the longest time, I cared. I no longer care because here's the thing, the people that like me for who I am, they're going to be my people. The people that don't like
100%.
me for who I am, psh, they can
Yeah.
just they can go find someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can,
Absolutely.
and so Elise says, if I'm too much for you, find less. Go find
Mm.
less. And so the first time I heard
I
her say
love
that, I
that.
was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
that's so
brilliant.
good. Yeah, it's the batch producing thing is like it's like if you were in a kitchen and you were rather than making all of the meals that are the same at once, making them all individually. It's like it doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's what so many people do, including myself when like when I do edited videos, more often than not, it's one at a time. And I'm really seeing how that doesn't make sense. I'm
Well,
really
let me
it's
show
I
you.
feel like the penny's dropping. Do you wanna
Let
go
me
back
show
into your
you.
slideshow?
Well, yes, but I was going to show you if it will pop up for me. I was going to show you what my editor looks like right
Oh, yeah.
now. Let's see.
There we go. We're in.
Do you see it? I look
You got
terrible
it?
there. Is there a better shot? Ah, now I can't find. Oh, wait. I've
Ooh,
got to bring that over. Oh, no.
it's alright. It's wonderful. It's exciting.
But you see, so these are all my cuts, right? So
Yeah.
this top layer is me. If I move
Mm.
this over, I've got my screen share. So this is nothing's been, oh, actually, some of these things will have been zoomed. Um,
What are you editing in?
Now, sometimes I will do a slot like on audio, like for this one. I knew that I needed my slide whistle to be timed with that effect. And so I'll go ahead and add that in. But basically, I did all of the cuts first. And then sometimes I'll throw in something like if I know I want to talk about something specific and I might not remember it later, I'll go ahead and throw in the overlay. But that's very, very rare. But
Mm.
this is just like my basic first cut. And when I finish with it and I've not finished with it, like I've got this red marker here that I will be able to know that that's where I need to start tomorrow.
Oh,
Right.
brilliant. What are you editing in here?
This is Shotcut
Ah,
and I'm about to get rid of it. So if you don't want to see like multiple of us on screen,
get
I'm
rid of
about
it?
to close
Okay.
this. You might want to
It's done. Beautiful. So should we
see.
jump in
Yeah.
to your
I'm
slideshow?
Yep.
Whoop, hip,
Oh, oh, there we
there we
go.
go.
So
Beautiful.
this is the big one is be flexible and listen to your body, right? So I have to constantly know, is it a good day for me to create content? And sometimes I don't know it until I sit down at the computer. But
Mm,
and then the last one is backup plan, which is sort of what I've been saying all along and what I started off with. I knew that
mm.
there was 8 videos. I couldn't film. The second one I tried to film wasn't working for me. So what did I do? I went to plan B.
Yeah,
And I didn't even know that there was a plan B, except for I've automatically put in plan B into my system. Like the
yeah,
system that I've created, there's a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, but I've not written that that's my plan, my other plans. But yeah.
yeah. This is amazing. So this system means that when you're if you're having a week, because I know so many people create content week to week.
Yep.
They'll record, edit, upload one video each week.
Repeat.
And that's their schedule and repeat. So you're able to create a month's worth of content in how many days would that typically take you?
So I
Or maybe
try
hours? How
if
many hours would that typically go for?
so what I try to do is I try to not spend any more than 1 hour per edited minute on a video.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it doesn't always work out that way, but that's my goal.
Mhm.
And some of it it's a little longer, some of it's a lot shorter. Excuse me. But like I created 6 videos in 4 or 5 days, like film and edited part. And then the next week I spent just scheduling things. Like I spent 2 or 3 days scheduling. And the only reason it took me that long is because I was having bad days. And so
Mm.
instead of scheduling all 8 in one day, I went ahead and did the 2 that needed to come out immediately. That I think I scheduled them. I had my last video up on the 11th, and I didn't have any more scheduled. So I had to go ahead and schedule 2. And then the next day I went and scheduled 2 or 3 more. And then the next day I scheduled 2 or 3 more. And then
Mm.
I took like 4 or 5 days off to where I don't I opened Canva up on my phone, but I didn't get on my computer much at all. And so
Mm.
because of my system, I've got it to where I can take at least a week off every single month without
Yeah,
filming and without editing. And
that's
ideally, my
brilliant.
goal would be to do 2 weeks a month without being able to film and edit. So that's where
Mm.
I'm trying to do now. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get there, but that's my goal, is to be able to take, let's see, let's look at, I really would like to be able to take like the last week of May and the first week of June, like none, nothing, like
Yeah.
no filming, no editing, maybe a live stream, right?
Mm.
Like maybe a live stream, but my audience would still get their content because it's all been scheduled.
Yeah.
But I would be able to
It's
take,
so good. Yeah. So all of that scheduling, all that planning and getting it all done means that you can have breaks when you
yep.
need them and listen gives you the ability to continue pumping out heaps of content,
See, that's the
but
other
also
thing.
giving yourself rest.
I listen to my body because I used to do 5 videos a week. Like I would do 2 shorts, 2 longs, and a live stream.
Mm.
My body told me that's too much for you. So I went down to 2 longs, shorts when I can do them, whether that's
Yeah.
one a week or none a week, live when
Mm.
I can do them. Sometimes
Yeah.
that means I didn't do a live for a month because I couldn't do it.
Mm.
And then
Which is okay.
it is. It's not
Yeah.
great. I mean, like, it's not great for consistency. People say it's great to do lives at a specific time on a specific day so that your audience knows, but that's just not possible for me.
Mm.
So I do
Yeah.
it when I can. And people that show up, I'm very appreciative.
Mm.
Mary,
Um,
Mary has a comment.
I've got a comment here from Mummy Guide as well, and then I'll read Mary's. The only thing I've been able to batch produce are shorts. I do all the shorts for the whole week. Thanks for sharing how you do this so we can have more free time. Oh, that's beautifully
It
heartwarming.
is.
And Mary says, this is incredibly helpful. I struggle with fibromyalgia. It's great to see such productivity. That's, yeah, awesome. It's so inspiring. You're so inspiring. You're amazing. I know we've got to wrap things up quickly, or soon. I did say that we were only going for an hour. How are you feeling? Are you cool to answer a couple more questions, or
I'm
should we
good to
wrap up?
answer. I'm a little sore.
Okay, well, we
Okay,
will
let's
wrap
be
things up
honest.
soon.
I've got some leg pain going on, but I'm okay. And my
All
voice is
right.
held out.
You're amazing. How brilliant. So I really want to ask this question because it sounds like there's a lot of work that goes into your YouTube channels, multiple. There's a lot of work that goes into it. So I wanted to ask you, what's the payoff? How does creating content enrich your life?
I mean, the obvious answer is I get paid. Um, I say that with a chuckle because I think I got, if I look at the monetization, from Google AdSense, I think yesterday it was like a dollar nine.
Yeah, how much is that per hour? Yeah, our hourly rate on YouTube for most YouTubers. What is it per?
Well, that was for one channel, and then the other one, I think yesterday was about the same. And so it just depends. But all jokes aside, um, what it is that before this, right? as someone with chronic as someone with chronic condition, it's it's really easy for me to feel like I've got no purpose, right? Like I sit here and I do nothing and I'm not providing anything for my family. Um, it's really easy to feel low about that, right? And where I get my greatest joy or sense of accomplishment is when I can help somebody else. And so that it really when I get a comment that says, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that," or "Wow, you can do that in Canva," or "Wow, you," I think on Friday I did a live stream. Two people, I think there were more than two people, but there were two people in the chat and they were very active in the chat. And somebody, I don't remember who it was. Actually, I remember her name, which is very rare because I have a really hard time with names and like for some reason I can remember Amy's name. I don't know why, but the lady's name is Donna. And the only reason I remember that is because that's my best friend's mom's name. And so because I said that, now I'm going to remember it, but I can't remember her like channel name right off. She was like, "My thumbnails, they say they're too big. How can I get them to not be too big?" And I'm like, "Well, if I had to make a bet, I bet that what you're doing is instead of using a thumbnail size, I bet you're using a video size." And then I
Mm.
went and showed that with, how you can tell what size it is. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, that's my problem." And just like that, I solved
Yeah.
a problem that she's probably been having for as long as she's been making thumbnails. And I'm
Mm.
like, now if that size didn't work, then just drop it down to a JPEG and you be good to go. But I'm like, you shouldn't have a problem. And then I showed my thumbnails and how like really intensive they are with the pictures and everything. I'm like, if I'm not having trouble with mine and size with the size limitation that can't YouTube has, then yours should be fine with
Mm.
a PNG. But yeah.
Mm.
Oh, Marianne. So you were quiet. You didn't speak up, or did I just not see you? But yeah,
That's great.
or
Yeah, it's
maybe I
so
don't. Yeah.
yeah, it's so, so wonderful, and it's like, I mean, I know I have th any question that I ever have about Canva, your channel is the first one I go to. Like, your channel is just such an incredible resource. So yeah, I'm so glad that it brings you so much joy to be helping people because you bloody well are helping people. It's amazing. Yes, Marianne says that she was working while she had you in the background listening. So there you go. I mean, I added that second bit to while she was all Marianne said was she was working.
I was
Anyway,
trying to remember what did I say that Canva could do that yeah, like I didn't know. Oh, I know what it because we I promised that I would show this, and so
you
if we
did.
don't
Do
show
you wanna
this,
show it quickly?
yeah,
Because
I'll show it
I
real
I
quick.
wanna be respectful of your time and your body, and your needs. So,
I'll show it real
do you
quick because I'm not
oh,
going to.
right.
I mean, I can't really show it right here, but I will show you where to find it.
Ah, great. Awesome. Okay, so this is the what are we talking
Screen
about?
share.
Screen share. This one?
Yep. Yep.
Yep, beautiful.
So down here on the right hand side, there is Canva Assistant.
Amazing.
Okay. So you can search anything there too. But down here under Magic Write is summarize text, expand text, rewrite, edit with Magic Write. You can even add your text effects there as
Oh,
well. So let's say that
wow.
I wanted to expand this text. Maybe I go, okay, how could I expand this text to maybe help me with a script for a YouTube video?
Mm.
If I click that, it's going to give me an expansion of it. Of course, it's really difficult to see because it's small, but let's see if I can take this here and look
Hang
what it
on.
gave me. 10
Hang on, Jennifer.
ideas,
That's amazing. That's so
right?
good.
10 10
Wow.
ideas. So then I could take this if I wanted to do a video on this on my channel.
That's so
It
cool.
might not be a great video for my channel because it's not Canva, but 10 ideas. And then that's a script, like a bullet point for
Yeah.
a script.
Yeah. It's oh,
That is a Canva Pro feature, by the way.
yeah. So this is a Canva Pro feature. This is very, very similar to ChatGPT, right? Like, is that
Yeah,
what it's called? And it okay, so that's amazing. So that was that expand text that you
that
just
was
selected for that?
expand text. I could even do a
Amazing.
look, a rewrite. So let's see, rewrite text. And then it gives me
Oh,
second
that's
something else. I wouldn't usually do it in this, but Magic Write has expanded. It's not just in Canva Docs anymore. It's in
yeah. Oh,
all
that's
of them. So
really
yeah.
amazing and such a helpful tip for YouTubers, like, particularly if people are struggling with ideas for, when you say you have 8 videos coming out a month, I'm like, wow, for a lot of people, I know that would be challenging coming up with 8 video ideas. Canva is an amazing place you can, like, type in stuff like, "Give me 10 video ideas
Yep.
for how to start a YouTube channel," or something like
Yep.
that. And yeah, it just pumps this stuff out. It's so cool.
And so
Canva is not just for creating thumbnails, folks. There's
right.
so
And
many amazing things.
like when I'm having trouble with words, like I may not always be able to find the words that I'm looking for. If I can
Mm.
type in the words that I'm thinking, and I let Canva's AI rewrite it for me, it may give me a better alternative for it.
Yeah, amazing.
And it really helps me with things like titles and descriptions and
Yeah.
things like that, even if I'm not using those specific words in my videos. And so it's really helpful. And you know what you could use this for? You could use this for ideas for like your YouTube community tab, like a post, like you could
Mm.
create an image, like I could take these and create 10 different images with these tips and then
What?
schedule them.
What?
You
I
want
feel
that?
like that's a whole video that should
I'm
be
like,
on your channel
I'm
that
like,
I'm gonna link people to.
you want that video so much.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
You know what?
I'm
Actually, this is a good idea for us to live together on my channel.
Yeah,
Would
let's do
be
it.
to
That's a very exciting new feature from StreamYard. For anyone who uses StreamYard, you can stream to multiple channels now, which is just bloody brilliant. So yeah, we'll definitely do that. Jennifer, I am just beyond grateful to you for coming and sharing your experiences with us. And I see that people are like tuning in right now. This has been such an amazing chat. So make sure you go back and watch the whole thing. Yeah, it's been amazing hearing about your strategies and how you are able to pump out so much content, even living with the chronic illness that you live with. Yeah, so grateful to have you as part of the community, and thank you everyone so much for tuning in.
oh,
Um,
oh, oh, oh.
I Fund Chris is here.
Mommy God says, "Don't use that function. You'll both get a reuse." We will not. It's so too
Oh,
separate. It is too. It won't be a reuse. It's StreamYard's worked it out. It's two different streams. It's considered two different streams,
ah,
and so Claire would get the watch hours and things on her channel from people that were watching on her channel, and I would get the things on mine. It's I don't know how it's
okay.
worked out, but it is not considered. like reuse content. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to
That's
do
really
it.
good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Maybe that was a problem in the beginning or something that maybe they've ironed out. But yeah, we'll we'll keep you posted once we test it out, hey?
Yeah.
But yes, thank you everyone so much for watching, and we'll catch you next week. Go and watch some of the Creator Classrooms videos right now. I'm gonna link some of them
Yeah.
here
Had a
at the
new
end.
video drop today.
Bloody beautiful. Catch you around, folks.